It's a social game for antisocial people most of the time. It helps build social connections with people. I didn't even speak in high school to people, and now I post my face on the internet to complete strangers. So you can only imagine how much it's helped me.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex, and I help shy, introverted nerds get over their fears and anxieties to find their player too. Today I bring you Sean, aka MrShickadance, a dungeon master and content creator. We're going to talk about how you can meet other nerds through TTRPGs like Dungeons and Dragons. Now, even though this podcast is about dating, TTRPGs are not meant for you to go with the only goal of finding dates. The idea is for you to go make friends, and that by expanding your social network, you may get to meet your player too. So with that being said, Sean, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. A delightful little intro. I love the fact that you put in, like, you don't necessarily need to date everybody at the table. That's good. Yes. I like
that. So just in case, and to get started, what are TTRPGs in your words?
So that acronym stands for Tabletop Role-Playing Games, which is basically like a board game with a narrative attached to it that everyone sort of makes up as the game goes on. Instead of playing one game of Monopoly and then playing another game of Monopoly next time you guys are at the table, you would play a game of Monopoly, and then the story of Monopoly would carry forward to your next Monopoly game. It's just kind of a narrative way to play a board game.
Yeah. And even though most people know Dungeons and Dragons, there are many TTRPGs.
Oh my God, there's too many. I don't even know a fraction of them. I know like 6, and that's too much of my time.
Yep, exactly. So often when I talk to nerds, right, like shy, introverted, they're like, I want to meet new people, but I don't want to go to bars or clubs, loud spaces. I like quiet spaces. And then I suggest D&D, TTRPGs.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. The catch is that sometimes people go there and they sort of like they go and they get stuck with that table, right? And they're like, well, I met all the 6 people at my table and that's it, right? And even before that, they might be saying like, where do I find a group, right? And even before that, it can be like, how am I going to join a new group? So today I would like to go through today I would like to go through like that whole sort of like process with you to like share with people like what it's like to like join a new table, how you can actually make friends and meet people and potentially maybe meet your player too.
Yeah.
So what's it like joining a new game? Like I'm guessing maybe you don't do it now, but back in the day, I'm guessing maybe you joined some new games with people that maybe you didn't know very well, or you know other people who do it. Like, what is it like to join your new group?
That's actually, I guess join wouldn't be the right phrase, because I don't think I've ever joined an active campaign that was already like ongoing.
Okay.
Actually, that's not true. I did join one. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be an active campaign. I'm just saying like, even if you start from session 0.
Yeah.
Right? It's you go by yourself, you don't know anybody, or you know maybe 1 or 2 people, but not the whole group.
So I actually did do both versions of that. I joined a group totally alone by myself, an island of one, and then I joined a group that a partner of mine was already in, and those are 2 different stories. The one where I actually went out to a game store and found a group of people alone by myself, they became a group I still play with today. Like I have another campaign starting with them in like a few weeks. Awesome. So that was 2018. So that's the kind of friends that this game can foster, where you just are in each other's life basically forever, even if it's like, 1 month on, 1 month off. But I went to a game store. They were holding a local like D&D day where they just had a bunch of DMs sign up to run a new book that was coming out. I think it was Ghosts of Saltmarsh was the book. And they just signed you up and you got put at a table with a bunch of complete strangers. I didn't know the DM. I didn't know anyone else. And there was like 7 players. It was kind of crazy. But there were a few people at the table who I could immediately tell didn't have a lot of social experience with other people. They were like very all about themselves and their characters, and they were taking up a lot of, the conversation, a lot of the space. We were like, okay, guy, calm down.
You're excited
cool,
about
we
it.
get it. Yeah, they were having fun, and I totally get that. But then there were like two other guys who we all kind of like got the same vibe, and we kind of clicked, and our characters started to like work together and have fun. And afterwards, we were just sitting around like, man, that was fun. I wish I could do that more often. And they were like, oh, well, maybe we could. Don't tell anybody else, but maybe the three of us get together. We have fun, in our own game. And I started running a campaign for them, and one of their partners joined us. And the three of them and myself basically played for like, I want to say 2 years up until COVID. Like every week we were at their apartment running a campaign. And COVID came, we all did it digitally over like Discord and stuff. And then eventually, we ended that campaign. We went on to the next one. One of them ran like the famous campaign setting of Strahd, the Curse of Strahd. If anyone who knows D&D, you pretty much assuredly know of Curse of Strahd. Yeah. But yeah, they're really good friends of mine. Like, I still hang out with them all the time. We have memories we talk about, like, oh, remember this session, or can you believe we beat that guy, or all these memories we have of something that never happened. It's pretty fun.
That's something that I had forgotten, but it's absolutely true. Like, I mean, I say I have forgotten because like I haven't had an actual campaign in like almost 20 years.
Yeah.
But I do remember that feeling of like, remember that time when this thing did not happen? Like, yeah, and I sometimes wonder like, how much do our memories actually match? Because everything happens. Maybe you have part of it. If you may have miniatures or a set or something, but it's mostly in your mind, right? And yet it's a shared memory.
Very true. Yeah, it is, because I think there have been studies done on this where it's like the imagination part of the brain where you use to like make D&D memories is right next to where you store real memories. And it's like, sometimes it's so close that they just kind of bridge that gap and you're like, it feels like it happened to me. And it doesn't matter if it didn't happen because it's fun. But yeah, there are just as many memories we talk about that happened in that game that happened in real life. Because, we've gone away on vacations, we've hung out like outside of just specifically D&D, but like, it's all part of the same connection, the same group of friends, and the same like relationships,
Yeah. And that's kind of where I wanted to go with the interview. So you joined a group, you didn't necessarily click with everybody. And that's what always happens.
No.
Right? Like whatever you do, you're not going to click with everyone.
Exactly.
But you found your 2-3 people. And then you're like, hey guys, let's do our own thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And it wasn't just like it naturally happened. I did kind of have to like approach them and be like, hey, that was fun. We had a good time. And then they had to do the same thing. It had to be a back and forth where we all like, got over that shy, awkward moment of, I don't know if they're going to want to talk to me or anything like that. Cause we're all fucking nerds here. Yeah. And no one likes to go out and be social,
How did you get over it then?
Well, because I was there in the first place. I was like, I'm not going to come outside of my house for like another month if I don't do this right now. So this is what I came here to do. Why don't I pursue that? And I kind of pushed myself out of my comfort zone, and I ended up making 2 really good friends who I couldn't imagine not having in my life at this point. So I am very happy. And it's a lesson that I learned that I take forward with me in most of my life from then on. I'm like, okay, I'm in a social situation. I got to push myself a little bit because I'm not comfortable here. So I gotta get out of this rut, this uncomfortable position. I got to get into the socialness of it.
And I mean, it's an uncomfortable situation, social situation, but it's playing D&D. It's being a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, it's uncomfortable, it's social, maybe you're not used to it, but it's not like going to a meeting with 50 people, 100 people with whom you don't know if you have something in common.
Yeah. Especially because you just gone through a whole session where you played together, you're like, oh, we all had fun. Okay, there's a connection there. I can play off this. Yeah.
Yeah. And even if you are a bit shy and are not sure what to say, like you can do stuff through your character, right? Like I've talked to some people who use TTRPGs for therapy.
Yeah.
right? And you can use your character to sort of be a bit more social, be a bit more bold, right?
Yeah.
And then other people see how you behave, because in the end, it is you making the decisions.
Yeah, it is a part of you. Yeah. It won't necessarily always be the same decisions you personally would make, but there is a part of you in everything you do in the game, which does come out at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you choose which character to make, you choose how the character behaves. So, and then other people can be like, oh, this one's cool. I like this person. I want to hang out with them more.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. But that doesn't happen in a vacuum. You do have to like kind of push for it. Because again, everyone at the table, they're playing D&D. They're probably not super social. So you also have to overcome the hurdle and possibly be the first one in the situation to be like, hey, do you guys want to do this again? You know?
Yeah.
Big lesson.
That's what I find very often with people that I talk to. I have like 3 D&D campaigns that I'm doing. And yet, like, I haven't met anybody. I'm like, well, are you hanging out with the people outside of the game?
Yeah.
But like, no. Well, then you know the characters really well. But do you know anything about the person behind the character?
If the only thing you ever want to do is play D&D, it's like, okay, well, you're not connecting with the person. You're just playing a game alongside them, you know? If you do stuff outside, like go to dinner or, you know, just hang out at a bar or hang out at their apartment, just don't play D&D, watch a movie or something, you know? There's a bunch of different things you can do. But a lot of people just have the game and they're like, oh, this is my excuse to play with people. I need to use this, otherwise they won't want me there, you know? Which, that's not how you make friends. I know from experience.
Well, like, it's the idea of nobody wants me there is usually in your head.
Oh, yeah.
Some people may have gone through bad experiences. I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
But at least 1 or 2 people might. Maybe if not in this group, maybe in a different group. And like you did, that you chose these 2 people or 3. It's saying, okay, I like you guys. Let's go do our own thing. And then they brought, like, one brought their partner. They could have brought more friends even.
Oh, yeah. Over the years, we did rotate more people in as like, they were like, oh, I have a friend who might want to play. They came in for a few months and then they had to go do other stuff. It's like a chorus, but those are like the core people that made up the group. Sure. Other people came in here and there, but yeah.
Yeah. And I'm guessing you got along with those people as well because you got along with your friends.
Yeah. Basically, it was a friend of a friend. So most likely I'm going to get along with that person too because they like the person I like. What's to lose there? You know?
Exactly. How do you transition from the campaign? Because you already mentioned how you went to a place, you met them, like, hey, guys, let's play our own game. How do you transition to outside of the game?
I think it was just randomly, either for, I want to say it was a birthday one of them was having. They were like, hey, I'm throwing like a little birthday thing where we're all going to go out to this place. Do you want to come? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's awesome. I would love to hang out with you guys in addition to like going over and playing D&D. Or one time they invited me over just to watch The Mummy, the Brendan Fraser movie from like the 90s. It was a blast. We just sat there and like kind of joked with each other about like different shit while we were watching The Mummy or while it was happening in the background. It was just random moments like that where I was like, oh, these are people I like, not just people I'm playing the game with. These are like, you know, friends. I can consider them, not just players. And that was
the moment. That was the moment for you.
Yeah, that was a really strong one where it was like, we did not play D&D. I came over, we watched a movie, I went home. It was delightful the whole time, you know? Yeah, stuff like that. It makes you realize like, oh, these people like me. They don't just want me to run D&D for them. They do enjoy my presence in addition to the game I'm running. That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. So I'm a digital nomad. So I change countries every 3 to 6 months. And so I have to make friends from scratch almost all the time. Yeah. And what I find is no matter how I meet people, like through which activity, until we change the activity and we do something else, the relationship doesn't deepen and doesn't shift.
Exactly. It feels routine almost if you're just doing the same thing every time. It kind of feels like that's the only thing you guys share in common. You got to break out of that. find different
Yeah.
things of interest to explore together.
Yeah, because when you get together to do one thing, all you talk about is the one thing. Like all you will talk about is my character or the loot or the campaign or the something. Whereas, oh, you guys like the Mummy? Like it's so cheesy. Yeah, but let's do it. It's fun. Great.
Yeah.
You know? And then, oh, what other movies do you like? And then you start like the conversation changes and you start seeing them more as people rather than just the players.
Exactly. It's a lot easier to do, especially if you can get a game to happen in person. I know it's difficult to do it in person because a lot of the things I do are online nowadays. It's just easier for everybody. But
Sure.
that in-person connection just makes it 10 times more personal in a way. I would say if you can do it in person, push for it. If not, you're fine. But if you can, it's there's nothing like it. It's weirdly enough, it's a social game for antisocial people most of the time, and that's it's a paradox in itself.
I like that. It's a social game for antisocial people.
Mm-hmm. That's what every TTRPG is. You have to have a group of people who can talk to each other, otherwise you're not playing the game. So
yeah,
it's a very social activity.
I mean, that's the role-playing part of the RPG.
Exactly. But also you need to get along with the people you're playing with. Otherwise, your characters won't get along because that'll bleed into the game. And, if you can't manage yourself in a group of people, or you can't manage dealing with other people, the game will fall apart. So that's why it's kind of like that social aspect is ingrained into the bones of the game.
And that's also why I think it works so well for like therapeutic purposes, where if you don't have those skills, you can actually develop them through the game.
Exactly. It's a pretty good tool for, helping people get over those anxieties or those fears that they have. Because you're playing a character. You're not doing these things. The character is. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I can do these things too. Because I've been doing them the whole time. It tricks your brain into like thinking differently about the way you act. And it's really, really helpful for a lot of people.
And then you can since you're presented with new situations, you have time to think, okay, what can I say? What can I do? How can I react? Whereas in a real life situation, you might be a bit too self-conscious. But by doing that sort of process of like, okay, what can I say in this situation? What can I do, etc., and you repeat it and you repeat it and you repeat it later when you're in real life, and that's the whole point of using it as a therapy as well. Is when you get to real life, it's I can do this thing, cool, almost automatic.
It like builds that confidence in you. Like, oh, my decisions worked out in the game. Maybe they'll work out here too. And then you learn that you were learning the whole time. You just didn't realize it because you were having fun. Yeah, it is weirdly social for a lot of people who I don't think realize how social it can be.
Yeah,
which is a good thing.
And that's it's fine. Like I've interviewed already like 2 people I think who didn't meet through D&D or TTRPGs. One did for sure. But like it's most people don't see it as I could meet people. They're just like I go and I stick to the game.
Yeah.
And it has so much potential for people who, like you say, want to be social, but they're antisocial.
Exactly. Even if you don't meet anyone at the table you're playing at, it will help you when you meet people in just society, in social situations. Yeah. You'll be, possibly a little bit more confident. You'll have a little bit more of like a social skills to lean back on. I didn't even speak in high school to people. And now I post my face on the internet to complete strangers. So you can only imagine how much it's helped me.
So it really grew your confidence.
I would say it helped me figure out what I had to offer in a social situation. Because before I was just like, you know what, let other people talk. Let other people do all the discussions and all the decision making. Now I'm like, well, hang on a second. I could do that too. And then I started making my own decisions, started, going out and meeting people to play D&D with. It kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone because I pursued this game I wanted to play. So it's been helpful for me personally.
And now as a Dungeon Master, I'm guessing you're talking much more than anyone else.
Yeah. Now they have to listen to me, otherwise no one gets anything done.
Exactly.
It's much more anxiety inducing because now it's like, oh God, I gotta talk, otherwise nothing happens.
Yeah, you're the center of the whole thing.
Well, I'm the game engine that keeps the game running, but they push the narrative along just fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You were talking about like what the first game that you joined, like there were a few people who were like a bit maybe too excited, and you also talked about people not getting along and that affecting the actual game, which makes total sense. What are some, like, let's say, rules of etiquette, right, that people should be aware of before they join a game?
I would say first and foremost, don't show up to the table expecting to date somebody at the table because that is a gamble. That is a roll, pardon the phrase, a roll of a die that you might not like the outcome of. Even if it does work out originally, down the line, that relationship could not work out, or you could, someone could do something that kind of makes the whole table turn. And also just might make people uncomfortable to be around that kind of energy at the table, Yeah.
Well, I mean, that goes to a question that I was going to ask later, which is dating within the party, yay or nay?
I would say it's fine so long as. So you mean the characters or the people at the table?
The people.
The people at the table. I mean, I think it's fine, honestly, but that shouldn't be your goal showing up at the table. If it happens, awesome. If you meet, the love of your life at the first time you ever played D&D, congratulations, you won the jackpot. I'm so proud of you and a little jealous. But if you show up with like, I'm going to date somebody at this table, first off,
watch out.
Statistically not going to be a girl there. So if you're a straight man like myself, you're going to find out that you don't have a lot of options when you go to a D&D table. And honestly, I'm pretty sure every female who's played D&D has a horror story where that exact thing happened to them.
Yes.
So don't be that story. Be a normal person, just in general. But again, you guys are it helps build social connections with people. It helps you, breed. What's the word I'm looking for? Hang on. Rapport?
Bond?
Yeah, bond. Thank you. Jesus. It does help build bonds between people. And if one of those bonds ends up being a more personal connection, pursue it, obviously. I don't think anyone at the table should say no, but that shouldn't be your goal. It's a great outcome, should be the goal.
Yes.
That's the way I wanted to say it.
Yeah. So if it happens, great, but don't make it the one and only goal, which, I mean, I say the same thing for everything that people do, right? Because otherwise all you're going to get is frustration.
Yeah. You're going to constantly strike out and it's going to kill your confidence.
Yes.
Cut to me in high school, silent.
Yeah.
Friendless.
Exactly.
Look at me now.
So what other rules of etiquette, apart from don't go expecting to date?
I would say just be open to what other people are presenting you. Because a lot of people go in there with like, this is my character. This is their story. They're the guy. They're the dude. They're the best.
This is what my character would do.
That's a type of person in itself. Yeah. But like, don't be so constrained to like, before you even start playing, you cannot have a solidified idea of what your character is. Because once that character hits the table, 100% chance they're going to change in some way, if not entirely, than what you expected them to be. So be open to your character adjusting, be open to the other people at the table having some input on the story, the world, everything else. Honestly, be open to failing, because that's one of the best parts of the game. Failure is so awesome in D&D, and it's consequenceless to you in real life. It can't hurt you. Just fail is great. But I would say definitely just be open. Be open to new things. Especially when 4 different personalities are sitting around the table outside of you, you're going to interact with things you're not used to or not familiar with. So going in expecting to be surprised or having your opinion tested in some ways, it's great. It's great for people. Everyone should do it.
I don't know if you've ever done improv, but in improv, there's a rule that's yes and.
Yeah.
And I think that really applies to D&D a lot and to TTRPGs a lot, which for anyone who doesn't know, the idea with improv is if someone says that they have a blue pen, just assume that they have a blue pen and go with the blue pen. And if someone says, oh, the blue pen turned into a snake, okay, the blue pen turned into a snake. Don't be like, no, this is a pen, it's not a snake, because that ruins the whole thing for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, in TTRPGs, there's a limit. You're not going to say, I take out a machine gun and I kill the BBG.
Yeah. It's not a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Exactly. But it kind of goes with what you were saying of like, be open to things happening, people challenging you, and sort of like world building together.
Mm-hmm. Narrative building together, yeah. And also don't be afraid to try things, right? Because the DM or the dungeon master's job is to sort of put a limit on that sort of improv where it's just like, I have a blue pen and now it's a missile or something, something crazy like that. The DM's job is to sort of put a lid on that and keep the narrative believable and consistent in a way that like improv usually doesn't have. So don't be afraid to try things and have the DM be like, okay, well, let's figure out how that can work, because the DM also shouldn't just be like, no. They should be like, yes, but more specifically, they should say no, but, and then add like a way that could possibly happen, which is a good thing to know before you get in there and just start like, I don't know what to do. It's like, do anything. Fuck, who cares? Just do something,
Worst case, just ask.
Yeah. Be like, can I do this? They're like, yeah, absolutely. If you hear your DM say no too often, get out of that table. Get out of there. That guy's an asshole. But if they say yes and they, encourage you to do the weird thing you came up with, that's a good DM. You should stay at that table.
Yeah. For someone who's never played D&D, what type of character do you suggest they go with?
I mean, you can't really go wrong with the basic meme of a human fighter. That's pretty normal. As long as you make your character creative, there's nothing you can't do that's fun. I'm partial to bards, but that's just because I like to talk. Obviously, we know that. And
now you like to talk.
I love to talk, dude. A lot of people gravitate towards magic. And if you're really into like learning the system, I think magic, like wizards and sorcerers and stuff, people love
But as a first character?
Probably not as a first character, no. Yeah. But there aren't actually paladins. Paladins can do a little bit of everything. So if you want to get into like a little touch of all the different systems in the game, I think paladin is the right call for someone like that. But if you get too overwhelmed, just a normal run-of-the-mill fighter will do you just fine. You'll probably do the most damage in the entire party. No one expects it.
Yeah, especially at the ones.
Yeah, especially at level 1. You'll be so useful. They'll love you.
Absolutely. You mentioned a little bit about where people can find games. Do you have any other like places where people could find a new game like that you would like to suggest?
So Start Playing is the best resource if you're willing to spend a little bit of money. You'll be put right into a group. There are a good number of like D&D related Discords you can probably find that just have looking for a group like sections or voice channels or chat channels, not really voice channels, that'd be crazy, where you can just say, hey, I'm looking to play, anyone interested? I think the best place to look, in my personal opinion, is the friends you already have in real life. And I know people are going to say, oh, I don't have any friends. That's never true. We all have a little bit of friends. You can just ask, the people around you. You can even ask family. I've had people say, I'm running a game for my brother, my dad, and my mom, and we're having a blast. Or like, I'm running a game for my kids and, my wife or my cousin or some shit. Just the people already in life are people you can already start getting into the game with. Once you have a grasp of it there, you can, go search in more social adept places. Like, you meet people out in real life, you meet people even at work, maybe. I don't know. Maybe if you want to make friends at work. I personally don't, but I don't work where you work. So maybe you have cool people there. But it's just wherever you can get in contact with people is the best place to ask, hey, you guys want to play this game? If that doesn't work, worst case scenario, what I did back when I first started is the like Roll20 forums for the website Roll20, or I think D&D Beyond also has like a looking for group forum. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you have no other options, that is a hands-off way to just be like, hey, I want to play, and see what happens.
Why would you not recommend it?
There's just, again, the game store I went to, it had like a few people who were the main character who were very like, this is exactly what I want the game I'm playing to be. Like, there's a lot of those people in those forums, because a lot of the times people who don't have friends in real life do end up on those forums, and you can kind of tell why they don't have a lot of friends in real life. I don't want to be mean to people, but come on, man. We're all playing a game together, you know? But yeah, that's where I think a lot of the people end up as like a last resort. So if you can try and get a game before then, I'd recommend it. People in real life, work, just general friends, Discords, if you meet some people you want to possibly hang out with more. That's where my probably longest running game was a bunch of people I met on Discord. They were great people. Yeah, I would definitely try and avoid forums. Forums are a different beast.
I mean, worst case scenario, you can join a one shot, and if you don't like the party, then you just don't join again.
Yeah, that's what I did a few times, and they were all one shots. I made sure of that.
Yeah. So like, don't commit to something long term if you're not sure, even if you like the game, right? Because like you might be like, oh, I didn't like D&D. Maybe you can try a different game. Like we're talking about like vampire, werewolf, etc. Yeah,
I will say they're harder to find if they're not D&D, because that's what everybody knows that one. But if you definitely want different games, there are places to find those. There are, the same thing with Discord, or the same thing with like a friend group. You guys like vampire stuff? Ask them if they want to play Vampire the Masquerade. Like, hey, you guys see Nosferatu? That was pretty cool. Test the waters. They're like, oh, you want to play vampire game?
Yeah.
Good work.
I mean, you could also go to a TTRPG convention.
Hey, you might see me there.
Exactly.
You go to PAX East, I'll be there. There is a good opportunity to get into games there, because they have live games played at conventions where they just throw you in a group, you play a game either for the first time or, as like a big event. And actually one of the big things about the convention is Adventure League, which is like the official Wizards of the Coast run D&D campaign and modules played in game stores around the country. So that is another, actually I think that's free. Adventure League in your local game store, if you want to meet in person, best chance to meet people and make friends. But you can sign up for Adventure League, and they have like a weekly or bi-weekly events at pretty much every game store that sells Magic the Gathering. So if you go there for Magic, you'll find D&D not too far behind.
Yeah, I find that people who like fantasy tend to do like, okay, Magic the Gathering, TTRPGs, Tolkien, and maybe metal. For music. It's like a combo, right?
It's like a perfect little sphere of interest. Yes, I don't know anyone who has ever played D&D that is not like, what's this Commander thing? I might be interested in playing some Commander. Every single person who's played D&D that's even heard about Commander has been like, oh, I'm obsessed with this now. Yes. So that's another great option. If you play Magic with people, see if they're interested in the other thing that Wizards of the Coast does most of the time, and play some D&D.
Yeah, I do find that many nerd interests and hobbies overlap.
Yes.
Many. I used to be, from when I was 14 to 21, 22, I was a paying member of my Tolkien association.
Nice.
That's my nerd card, right?
Yeah. Your bona fide.
Yeah. And that's how I ended up playing TTRPGs. That's actually, I used to play Magic before that, but I found people who were playing Magic there. Yeah. People who are into metal, people who are into like, it's really funny how we all kind of like the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's got dragons. Yes, I'm in.
Well, I don't know. It's a better world where you could possibly be lit on fire by a giant lizard in the sky. Somehow better than the one we live in right now.
Yeah.
But there's also, going off of what you just said, where it's like we all love different things. I can't tell you how many people have started playing D&D from playing Baldur's Gate. If you've played Baldur's Gate 3 or you have a friend who talks about it all the time, that person would love D&D. And you can absolutely convince them to play it.
I mean, it's literally the same thing.
It is the same thing, but a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. I mean, I played Baldur's Gate 1, 2, and 3, so yes, I know.
I couldn't go back to those older games. My brain would literally burst into flames.
I have it on my phone, actually, 1 and 2.
Baldur's Gate, the original?
Yes.
It's on your phone? God
It's
damn.
on my phone. Every now and then on a long flight, I might be like, oh, let's restart
It's like a Game
this.
Boy game. It's so small.
Yes. Yeah.
It's awesome.
So where can people find more about you, whether it is like for like DMing content? I know you have a great Instagram channel with lots of content as well.
Yeah, I'm on all the short form. don't look that up. Short form content with Instagram, TikTok. Maybe I'll be on YouTube this year. Who knows? Shorts are a different beast entirely. But under MrShickadance, pretty much anywhere in different forms on those sites. I'm also on Twitch. I've started streaming this year. Next week, I'm going to start doing like D&D and GMing stuff on my Twitch channel. So if you want to look that up, MrShickadance as well. If you find me one place, the link tree will lead you anywhere else in the bio. Should be good.
Awesome. What are you going to be streaming? You said D&D, like with a group of friends?
No, I'm going to be doing like world building stuff. I'm going to be building a world that's kind of like Monster Hunter meets like Arc Raiders. I don't know if you're familiar with that game.
No.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like an extraction shooter where you go out, find resources, come back to the home base. Should be fun.
Sounds fun. Awesome. Sean, thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
And everyone watching and listening, if you have any questions for him or for past or future guests, just let me know. You can send me a DM at datelikeanerd or an email at dm@datelikeanerd.com. In the meantime, take care and continue playing.